The United Nations has strongly condemned Friday's deadly attack on Coptic Christians in Egypt, in which at least 28 people were killed and dozens more wounded. The swift condemnation from the Secretary General and the Security Council kept a wake of attacks in Africa and deepened concerns about terrorist groups ISIL and Al Shabaab. Our UN correspondent Liling Tan reports.
UN Chief Antonio Guterres said there can be no justification for the horrific violence that took place on Friday when gunmen opened fire on a bus carrying Coptic Christians to a monastery in Egypt's Minya province. Strong words from the Security Council as well, which called the attack heinous and cowardly and underlined the need to bring those responsible to justice, be they perpetrators, organizers, financiers or sponsors of these terror acts. Egypt's deadly bus assault ends a week that also saw deadly roadside and suicide bombings in Somalia and Kenya, for which the Al-Qaeda-linked militant group Al Shabaab is believed responsible. Al Shabaab remains a key concern here at the UN as both a regional threat and a threat to Somalia's political process. In a continued effort to reduce that threat, the UN Security Council has just authorized the African Union to keep its mission in Somalia, known as AMISOM, operating until the end of August. The decision partly stems from an assessment by Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who said Al Shabaab remains a potent threat despite internal squabbles and fracturing, and in spite of ongoing efforts by AMISOM and Somali security forces to rein them in. The UN chief noted in that May 9th report that the group has become more sophisticated in executing complex terrorist operations in urban and rural settings. He also expressed concern about how Al Shabaab was exploiting the drought to promote its own propaganda, and is especially worried about the group's willingness to use violence to hinder humanitarian relief activity and target aid workers. Liling Tan, CGTN, New York.